Aloha, my name is Alan Smith, and I am the board chair for Kauai Island Utility Cooperative. Mahalo for each of you for joining us at our annual meeting. This is our 19th annual meeting, marking 19 years as a cooperative. I am joined today by my fellow board members, Vice Chair Jan Ten Bruggencate, Calvin Murashige, Board Secretary, Peter Yukimura, Board Treasurer, Dee Kroll, David Iha, Janet Cass, James Mayfield, and Phil Takbian. As you know, these directors are elected by you, the members, and are accountable to you as you have elected them. Also with us today is KIUC's President and Chief Executive Officer, David Bissell, and our cooperative's legal counsel, Laurel Liu. Before we go any further, please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Before we begin, CEO Bissell would like to say a few words. Go ahead, David.
Thank you, Chair Smith. As we all know, COVID-19 has had significant impacts in our community and here at KIUC over the past 15 months. We appreciate you joining us here on Zoom and hope that next year, when KIUC celebrates its 20th year anniversary of being cooperative, we'll all be able to celebrate in person. Regardless of the format, we hope you will find tonight's webinar informative. In spite of the many challenges of COVID-19, there were many great things to appreciate in 2020 and so far in 2021. We look forward to sharing some of those with you tonight during our presentation. Without further delay, I turn it back to you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, David. And a mahalo nui to you and the team for helping us get through these rough times this past several months. First order of business today is the approval of the minutes of July 22nd, 2020, almost a year ago, at our annual meeting last year by our board of directors. I would like to entertain a motion to approve these minutes from one of our directors.
Mr. Chairman, to approve the minutes of July 22, 2020.
Do I have a second?
I second.
It's moved by Jan and seconded by Cal. You should have all the minutes before you. Do I have further discussions? Hearing none. All in favor of approving these minutes as presented by saying, please say aye.
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 Those opposed, please signify by saying nay. The ayes have it. The minutes are approved. As David mentioned, we normally will share a chili and rice dinner with the attendees of our annual meeting, along with a bag of rice and other gifts to take home. Unfortunately, this marks the second year we've been unable to do that and meeting and socializing in person. In 2020, and again this year, KIUC has made donations of rice to each of the two food banks on Kauai in lieu of our annual chili and rice dinner. We thank both the Kauai Independent Food Bank and the Hawaii Food Bank, the branch here on Kauai, for their incredible service to our community during these very challenging times. Here are a few photos from the deliveries we made last week. Now to get on to our presentation. We've asked David Bissell to share the presentation this year. We did not receive any questions from our members. So after the presentation, we'll go directly to a door prize and random drawing for those who have signed up. Let's go to the presentation, David. The floor is yours.
Thank you. Mahalo, everyone, for joining us tonight as we review highlights from 2020, which has been a very challenging year for all of us. In addition to looking at last year, we will also bring you up to date on our current activities and projects. Let's start with reviewing our progress on getting to 100% renewable generation. You can see that we've made incredible strides since 2010, when we were more than 90% dependent on fossil fuels, to reaching 67% renewable generation in 2020. We have literally blown away our own strategic plan goal of reaching 50% by 2023, and also the state's benchmark of reaching 30% by 2020. Our renewable generation was the most of any island in the state in 2020. This map shows you where all of our renewable generating resources are: solar, biomass, and hydro. No matter where you live, each area of our island is contributing to our renewable present and future. The next big renewable project we are pursuing is the West Kauai Energy Project, which I'll talk about more later. We've been very successful in deploying utility scale solar and solar plus storage projects, but rooftop solar or distributed generation is also making a big contribution to our energy. We currently have more than 40 megawatts of distributed solar on residential and commercial rooftops on Kauai, which together provide 13% of our island's 2020 generation. This graph shows you how much rooftop solar has grown over the past 10 years. Members naturally want to know about rates and how our renewables are impacting rates. This graph shows you, as we've increased the amount of renewable generation on our system, our rates have stabilized to a great degree. This is largely because our renewables are purchased at fixed prices through long-term power purchase agreements. These prices will not go up for 20 or 25 years, depending on the specific agreement. Many of our utility scale solar projects are priced lower than the average cost of fossil fuel. This creates a downward pressure on rates over time, and we see that trend on this slide. Turning to financial results, COVID-19 definitely had an impact on KIUC in 2020. Due to many businesses being closed, electricity usage was down nearly 10%. This caused a significant decrease in revenue, which we had to offset by reducing non-essential spending, restructuring our debt, and receiving a Paycheck Protection Program loan. On the positive side, we increased our renewable source generation almost 20,000 megawatts and reduced our spending on fossil fuel during this period. And because the Public Utility Commission allowed us to carry our lost sales on the books as a financial asset, we were able to meet lender financial requirements and still be able to retire 1.1 million in patronage capital credits to you, our members. You should have received your credit on your bill or in the mail in May. Sales are now increasing along with visitor arrivals. For the past 2 months, our electric sales are up double digits compared to the same months in 2020. However, even with this increase, we are still trending below 2019 sales levels, as many businesses remain closed or operating below capacity. As we look forward to the remainder of 2020 and into next year, inflation is becoming a bigger concern for us and most companies. We will continue to closely monitor the Cooperative's financial condition as we navigate through these challenging times. In 2020, our total revenue was $145.1 million. This graph shows you how the money was spent. As you can see, fossil fuel is still the largest single expense category for KIUC, but at 14%, It's half of what we spent for fossil fuel just 2 years ago in 2018, which is pretty remarkable. This slide illustrates our equity percentage. You may remember that when KIUC was formed in 2002, we started with 0% equity. We now are nearly 35% equity, which is very reasonable for a cooperative our age and reflects our increased financial capabilities. I mentioned earlier that we led the state in 2020 with 67% renewable generation. We also led the state with the best system reliability. Our reliability was also the best in the history of our cooperative. And in 2020, we logged more than 1,500 hours of 100% renewable grid operations. To be able to do that and maintain the reliability metrics that we have is an incredible achievement. And I want to thank our employees, particularly our engineers and technical staff. Many of our members signed up for Smart Hub in 2020, since our member service counter service area is closed to the public. We hope more of our members will take advantage of the many benefits of Smart Hub. In addition to paying your bill, Smart Hub offers the ability to track your energy usage, sign up for outage alerts, and report service issues. You can go to the homepage of our website, kiuc.coop, if you would like to sign up. Another highlight was the generosity of our employees in giving to the Kauai United Way annual fundraising campaign. We know the needs are great in the community, and we raised more money for Kauai United Way than ever in the past. There are many more activities and accomplishments to highlight from 2020, and you can find them in the KIUC 2020 annual report, which can be found on the KIUC website in the About section. If you can't access it on the website, call us and we'll be happy to mail you a copy. The annual report will also be printed in your fall issue of Currents magazine. Now I'm going to run us through some projects that are ongoing. The newest addition to our renewable portfolio is the AES Solar Plus Storage Facility located at the Pacific Missile Range facility. We completed work on our new substation there in December, which allowed us to reach full output for the system in the first quarter of this year. Now with our 3 Solar Plus storage facilities, we're able to meet up to 2/3 of our evening peak load with dispatchable solar power. In December, we signed an agreement with AES to develop, construct, and operate our next renewable project, known as the West Kauai Energy Project. This will be a pumped storage hydro facility with solar. Solar power will be used to pump water uphill during the day for release overnight, and other times is needed for hydroelectric production. This is a very important project and will bring us to nearly 90% renewable when it's complete. West Kauai Energy Project will also bring many community benefits, such as enhancements at Pu'ulua Reservoir for fishing, opening up new pastoral lands for Hawaiian homesteaders, and ensuring mandated stream flows in Kokee are maintained. We've just submitted a draft environmental assessment on a project to the Department of Land and Natural Resources for review and hopefully publishing for public comments in the very near future. You can learn more about West Kauai Energy Project at the project website, www.westkauaienergyproject.com. We continue our discussions with the state on a long-term lease for water for our Waiahi hydro plants. In 2020, we did not use water from either the North Fork Wailua or Waikoko diversions for our hydro operations. This is because there are pending repairs to a portion of the pipeline leading to the hydro facilities. The hydro plants still produce some power using water from other tributaries on the system, but at a much reduced capacity. As required by our revocable permit, even though we're not diverting water, we continue to maintain the blue hole intake area and hope to make more progress on lease discussions in the coming year. As you are probably aware, KIUC has a responsibility to manage its impact on endangered seabirds, namely Newell shearwaters and Hawaii petrel. We spend millions of dollars each year on activities and projects that both minimize and mitigate our impact to these species. Mitigation measures include the Save Our Shearwater program, which rehabilitates birds after they are injured by striking utility lines, and fencing areas where the birds nest so that they're protected from predators. Minimization measures are designed to reduce the number of line strikes which injure the birds. We are spending a significant amount of money on minimization measures, which include both diversion installations and line reconfigurations. In 2020, we reconfigured certain sections of our steel transmission lines in order to convert 3 lines that are vertical positioned on a pole into a single horizontal position. This lowers the potential line strike area and also eliminates 2 points of potential contact. The illustration on this slide helps to demonstrate this concept. You can see we moved from a much higher pole down to a lower area, so we have less potential for contact with our endangered species. The other major minimization project is installing bird diverters on our lines. The diverters are devices that are placed on line spans in order to alert the birds to the presence of the line at night. We are using 2 kinds of diverters: LED diverters, which use a small solar panel that charges during the day and produces light that's visible to the bird at night. The second kind we use is a reflective diverter, which glows in the dark and helps the birds avoid line strikes. And we're using the reflective diverters in areas near roads or residences, and the LED ones in areas further away from the population centers. During 2020 and this year, KIUC has done strike minimization on 52 miles of line, which is expected to reduce our bird collisions by 30%. Our minimization efforts will continue over the next several years as we work to further reduce bird injuries from contact with our power lines. We'd now like to share with you a short video showing drone installations of LED diverters along our transmission lines. Let's roll the video. Just a quick note that both types of diverters are passive. They have no electronic output and they do not collect any data. Construction on the new Anahola Service Center began in early 2021 after we had a very small COVID-compliant groundbreaking ceremony for the project in December of last year. This is an $8 million construction project, and the work was awarded to 2 local contractors: Cushnie Construction for the site improvements and Kanani Construction for the building. We're very thankful for the continued partnership with the Department of Hawaiian Homelands, the Hawaiian Home Commissions, and the Anahola Hawaiian Homestead Association and the Homestead Community Development Corporation on this project. When it's complete, the Anahola Service Center will be a much improved facility to house our east side field operations and compared to our Kauai location. It will provide for more space for material storage, faster response to North Shore outages, and it will include a community meeting room for use during regular business hours. This project should be complete by the end of this year or early 2022. KIUC has weathered the challenges of the COVID pandemic very well, and I'm very proud of our employees for their diligence and commitment to a safe and productive workforce throughout 2020 and into 2021. Our members also have adjusted well to the current payment options available, and we thank you for making those adjustments. Our Information Technology and Human Resources Department worked extremely hard in the early stages of the pandemic to allow for telework for most of our employees. But as of July 1st, we're all operating back from our KIUC offices. The Public Utilities Commission did lift the suspension of disconnections for non-payments as of June 1st. We've been working hard to accommodate members with past due balances by referring them to assistance programs and offering 12-month payment plan options. Please reach out to us if you have a past due balance, and we'll work with you on various options to bring your account up to date. Looking forward, our board of directors is undertaking the important task of updating our strategic plan. Our last update was adopted in 2016, and since then, much has happened. We've accomplished or made progress on many of the goals that were included in the 2016 plan. And it's important that we continue to refine our strategic direction on a regular basis so that we can address evolving needs and opportunities of the co-op and the island. The board will be seeking members' inputs on what should be included in the plan. So please keep your eye out for more information on that process in the next couple of months. And I'd like to personally thank our directors for their guidance and direction during these difficult times of the pandemic. They've been a great resource for me and for the cooperative during this time. This presentation and video will be posted to our website. And as always, if you have any questions, please give us a call at 246-4300. And with that, we thank you for your attention. Mahalo.
Thanks, David, for that presentation. Before we close, we're going to give out some door prizes. I'd like to hand it over to our chair of our Member Relations Committee, Dee Kroll. Dee Kroll, please step forward.
Thank you, Chair. This year, we chose to purchase our door prizes from stores that sell groceries, knowing that some families, this would be very important. So we have 6 gift cards of $100 each from either Times or Safeway. We hope these prizes are helpful and to those who receive them and also to the local retailers. We have a spinning wheel loaded with the names of all members who registered for the webinar or called in their name as of 12 noon today. So let's spin the wheel. Yes. Thanks. Kyle Sweetheart. Winner. Serena Better. Winner. Winner. know, Laura Walraven, winner. And our last one. Jack Yasko, winner. Thank you, Beth. Congratulations to our prize winners. We'll be getting in touch with you either by phone or by email to arrange delivery of your prize. Mahalo to everyone for attending the meeting and participating also. Back to you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you for your generous gifts. I'm sure the recipients are very happy. In closing, we would like to thank you again for making the time to join us tonight, you in the audience, and to acknowledge our 19 years as a cooperative. What makes us all special, KIUC, is what makes KIUC work is your participation. So continue to pay attention and give us feedback whenever you feel it's necessary. Mahalo to all of you for tuning in this evening. We hope you'll engage us as we embark on updating KIUC's strategic plan this year. And remember, next year will be our 20th anniversary, and we expect to have a grand celebration in person for that really special event. We appreciate all of you, and we wish you all the best, especially good health. Stay safe in the months to come. Aloha and a hui ho. And that concludes our meeting tonight. We are adjourned.